Hello everyone, Silva here. Welcome to part 2 of my FreeSpace story video series. This video will take a look at the events of the FreeSpace 1 campaign. But before we start, a spoiler warning should be issued, because obviously this video will give away some major story points of the FreeSpace 1 campaign, and if you don't want to be spoiled, please stop here and play the game first. Our story starts in January of 2335. The Terran-Vasudan War is in its 14th year. Both sides have had successful campaigns that led them to believe the war would be over soon, only to be pushed back by another enemy counteroffensive, and at this point, neither side was close to winning the war. With casualties amounting in the tens of thousands, both the Galactic Terran Alliance and the Parliamentary Vasudan Empire were worn down by this war. This stalemate situation, however, was about to be broken up when on January 7th, in the Ross 128 system, a previously unknown race was first encountered. This first encounter didn't end well for the PvE and GTA forces, as both sides were completely annihilated by this new race, including the Terran outpost Riviera. While the Terran government initially denied the existence of a third race, more sightings over the next few days in systems like Ross 128, IKEA and others led them to eventually confirm the existence of a third intelligent race. Both Terran and Vasudan analysts came to the conclusion that this new race, designated the Shivans, was more advanced than either Terrans or Vasudans. Their fighters were equipped with energy shielding, nearly impervious to standard Terran or Vasudan weapons. Their ships were equipped with a stealth system that made it impossible for fighters to get a target lock. And their weapons were more devastating than anything the PvE or the GTA had in their arsenal. Since the Shivans attacked Terran and Vasudan targets equally and were a major threat to both species, the PvE government proposed a ceasefire to the GTA on January 18th. The Terran government didn't respond right away, but increasing activity by the Shivans in several new systems convinced them to quickly accept this offer, and so on January the 23rd, the Galactic Terran Alliance and the Parliamentary Vasudan Empire signed the Treaty of 2335, officially putting an end to the Terran-Vasudan War, now called the 14-Year War. The treaty also initiated an unprecedented level of scientific and military cooperation between those two races. But not all were happy with it. A religiously fanatic splinter group of the Vasudan military seceded from the Vasudan government shortly after the treaty on January 24th. They called themselves the Hammer of Light and believed that the arrival of the Shivans was the fulfillment of an ancient Vasudan prophecy about an almighty race who would arrive one day and purify the galaxy. They believed that resistance against the Shivans was sin, and so they vowed to attack anyone who would oppose the Shivans. On the same day, January 24th, a team of Terran and Vasudan scientists created the first working prototype for a Terran-Vasudan shield system by modifying captured Shivan hardware. They were also able to modify new weapon prototypes to be more effective against Shivan shields, giving the Terrans and Vasudans the first real fighting chance against them. With those new tactical options, Terran and Vasudan forces started a counteroffensive against the Shivans, trying to push them back into the systems where they were first sighted. These attacks were initially successful, culminating in the capture of the Shivan cruiser Taranis in the IKEA system on February the 10th. The cruiser was then towed to Tombao Station in the Ribos system for further analysis. Unfortunately, the celebrations for this victory were cut short when a day later, on February the 11th, a massive Shivan super-destroyer designated Lucifer jumped into Tombao Station and destroyed the Taranis and the installation itself, including all forces that tried to defend the station. Analysis of the fight data proved that the Lucifer was a quite unique battleship, equipped not only with powerful beam weaponry, but also with a special kind of Shivan shield, completely impervious to Terran and Vasudan weapons even after all the modifications by the Vasudan and Terran scientists. With that tactical advantage, the Shivans started a new offensive, pushing the Terran and Vasudan forces back slowly towards the Vasuda system, which seemed to be the next target for the Lucifer. Using uncharted jump nodes, the Lucifer was then even able to circumvent the Terran Vesudan blockade at the Antares Vesuda jump node, moving to Deneb and behind the Terran Vesudan lines. In a desperate attempt to slow the Shivans down and give the Vesudans time to evacuate their homeworld, the Allied forces staged a major battle against the Lucifer fleet at Deneb on February 28th. But unfortunately, this battle only ended with heavy casualties for the Allied forces and a major defeat. The Lucifer could not be stopped, and on March 1st it arrived at Vesuda Prime and bombarded the planet for 13 hours straight, killing nearly 4 billion Vesudans and rendering the planet almost uninhabitable. After the destruction, Terran forces aided the Vesudans in evacuating survivors, but Terran Command was worried that Earth would be the next target of the Lucifer fleet. Fortunately, the Shivans had not found out which system was the Terran home system, but that was only a matter of time. During that time, Vesudan evacuees landed on a distant planet in the Altair system, where they found ruins of an ancient civilization destroyed by the Shivans millennia ago. And they also found a data storage that contained information about the Shivans and a weakness, that their shields did not work inside subspace, and the technology to track them into subspace. On March 5th, Terran forces were sent out to recover the Vesudans and their findings, and after several days of analyzing the data, on March 17th, Terran Command came up with a risky plan to destroy the Lucifer while inside subspace, which at that point was desperately needed because the Lucifer was already sighted en route to Earth. The destroyer GTD Bastion was tasked with pursuing the Lucifer and intercepting her before she could reach Earth, but unfortunately the destroyer was too slow. They managed, however, to send out a squad of fighters and bombers that followed the Lucifer into the subspace jump from Delta Serpentis to Sol. This strike team was able to destroy the Lucifer at the very last moment, and while the ship exited subspace inside the Sol system, it detonated. This massive detonation had an unforeseen consequence for the Delta Serpentis jump node and all other jump nodes in the Sol system. All nodes collapsed, completely isolating the Sol system from the rest of the galaxy. And so on March 29th, the Shivan threat to Earth was stopped, but at a very high price. And this is where FreeSpace 1 ends. In the next video we will take a look at the events that take place between this and the start of FreeSpace 2. Join me in this video if you like to. Until then, take care and goodbye!